maybe to start by you both saying your names and how long you've been in Windsor and like the neighborhood you live in.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Susan Jackson. Been in Windsor for 31 years in Deerfield.
And I'm Lawrence Jackson. I have lived in Windsor for 32 and a half years.
The half is important.
Yes.
And what brought you to Windsor?
Well, I came when the two of us were married. He was already here. That's why his is 32 and a half. um, and it's been good to be here. Um, there have been lots of different things that God's brought into our lives and the neighbors that we've had. We've appreciated being here where people are very welcoming. And so he can say more about why he particularly picked Windsor.
Please.
Uh, I moved here from Hartford. I owned a through family in Hartford for a while, and I'm originally from New Jersey. I moved to Connecticut. Connecticut was my first job after graduation from UConn. And I moved and I roomed with three other guys in an apartment. We later split up. Some got married, some went to further education, and I moved to the through family that I bought, still in Hartford. Um, and then at one point, my mother, who was living in Michigan for a while, came back to New Jersey, but my sister wanted to take advantage of an opportunity that would require her to move to California. So, not wanting her to miss out on the promotion and the opportunity it would be, uh, we decided to give mom the choice of what she wanted to do. And mom decided to move up here. I had her, she went to a rest home in East Hartford. Um, I had started looking for houses that had a bedroom on the first floor. And the real estate agent took me to this house in Windsor, and I kind of fell in love with it. And we're still there.
You fell in love with the house or you fell in love with Windsor?
Well, the house first, Windsor after. I liked Windsor when I first saw it because it reminded me of where I grew up in New Jersey. And the house kind of reminded me of my parents' house that they bought after my sister and I grew up. But I've really appreciated my neighbors. They've been very welcoming. Here I was, a single guy moving into this family neighborhood, but they welcomed me, and I felt very comfortable. Um, and then when we met, when God brought us together, and the neighbors, I'll never forget this. Both neighbors on either side of us, got together to welcome her into the neighborhood. That really impressed me. And we had one neighbor who came across the street at Halloween to introduce himself in costume. Yeah, I thought he was another trick-or-treater. He takes off the hat, and he introduces himself as a neighbor across the street. I said, okay. So that was my introduction to Windsor, and I've enjoyed all 32 and a half years here.
Yeah, I like you both are wearing Windsor t-shirts.
Well,
Yeah.
we wanted to show that we do really appreciate the town. And I can say from raising our children here that it's been a really good place to live. The programs that we have had at the library, at least when my kids were growing up, were outstanding, and people would come from other places. I met someone from Windsor Lock saying, we don't have this in where I live. And so they came down to Windsor to go to some of the programs. There were things for Mommy and Me at Milo Peck. So I remember Lori Lynn Kite and doing those things there with her. And at the library, Mrs. Toby Silva and Candy. And they treated our children so well. And as we've stayed here and we've had to study things for ourselves, always going to the library and getting the help that you need. So whatever the staff, they've constantly been changing, but it's always been somebody been helpful. I volunteer.
The library down in Wilson, or you go to the center one?
Most of the time, the one in the center. But the people at the library in Wilson have been helpful too. In fact, one of the ladies who, I think she still works there, I worked with her here at the LP Wilson office that's for the senior center. I was volunteering here and she was my manager. So she also works there, so I got to see her there sometimes as well. I learned quilling at the one in Wilson. I've never heard of it, and I found out what it was about, and they were having a free class in it, and I went down to take a lesson there, and it's been a nice hobby of mine. It's been fun. So going to the parades or being in the parades here, my first taste of shad, that's been really the really nice things.
Where'd you eat it?
The taste of shad?
Yeah,
that was at on the Town Green. There was a lady who, I don't know if she still has a cooking show, probably not on Win TV anymore, but she was someone who did cooking here.
Yeah,
I can't remember
Chef
her name.
Renee.
Chef Renee. My daughter used to volunteer for Windsor TV, and she was assigned to do the camera work for the cooking show. So we always had to check out on what she was making every year she was at the Town Green. And that was really fun. So that was the first time I tasted shad.
What did you think?
It's good. Especially probably how she cooked it. It was very good. Our older daughter, both daughters went to programs at Northwest Park. The older daughter actually volunteered to help there, as well as what she did for Windsor. I volunteered at the Windsor Historical Society for a while on the front desk. Yes. It was a number of years ago now. At one point, I was volunteering here for the Senior Center, volunteering for the Windsor Historical Society, and volunteering for the services for the blind. And that they were just every other day, or, I hardly ever did both, any of them in the same day. So we've appreciated a lot here. It's been a blessing.
Yeah, I like this story. Can you tell the story about your neighbors mowing your lawn?
Oh, you go ahead. All I said was when we weren't around.
Yeah.
And sometimes even when we were around.
We're around.
We just hadn't gotten out there yet.
Not only have we had neighbors who have mowed our lawn, they've shoveled our snow. Where else do you find that happening? Recently it happened because I've not been well, and I was intending to get out to cut the lawn myself. And one day I came home and I'm going, the lawn's been cut. And I said to Susan when I came in the house, I said, the lawn's been cut. She said, well, I didn't do it. Immediately I knew who it was. It was our neighbor 2 doors down, Bob. So I called him and thanked him. And he said, no problem. And he has been very helpful in my 32 years. He will do snow in the winter. He'll do from his house down to the house on the
Just past
corner,
us.
just past us. He'll do the sidewalk, and it's like you go out and you're like, okay, who blew snow? And then all you have to do is your stairs and your walk. So like Windsor has been, I can't. Where else do you find a neighborhood and neighbors who would do that?
So has your neighborhood like sort of stayed the same this whole time?
Well, it's changed over time. When we moved there, our children were the same age as some of the other children, but as our children have grown, they're now 28 and 30. So have they, and so the neighborhood has changed. Some people have stayed, like ourselves and Bob.
And the Ericksons across the street.
Street,
still
yes,
there.
yes. But it's changing. I've seen younger families with, carriages, baby carriages. So it's changing, but somehow the character of the neighborhood has stayed the same.
Did your kids play in the neighborhood?
To some extent, they
Yeah,
played
yeah.
mostly in our yard, but they
Yeah.
did take classes here where they got to meet a lot of kids. Where they had t-ball here in the area behind the school here, and they did gymnastics. They did ballet. There were a lot of fun activities for them.
What school did they go to? Like elementary?
They went to preschool over where the church is. I can't even remember the name of the preschool. That was just Wilson Preschool.
was-
I think is what they called it.
At
And
the time, it was Wilson
it was a
Congregational.
congregational. And they went to Oliver Ellsworth. And up until the 7th grade, the older daughter went to the middle school here, Sage Park. And then they went to private school after that.
And do you guys go to church here?
No.
No, we go to church in Plainville.
Oh, okay. You guys are far away. Is that far?
It
It-
takes about 20 minutes, 25
yeah.
minutes to drive down 84 to 72.
So funny, volunteers. We probably have pictures of you then.
Maybe. Back then, I'm trying to remember the name of the lady that helped me. I can see her face and can't remember her name.
Christine?
I was there when Christine Emmerich was there, and the last curator I knew was Christina, I think,
Yeah.
Vida.
Oh, Christina Rita.
Vida,
Okay.
yes. But the other lady, I remember the lady who was in the library, Beth?
Barbara.
Barbara. And then there was someone who was in the office, and I cannot remember her name, I'm sorry.
Connie.
Yes. She and I became buddies. She
Oh, yeah?
tried to help me at the desk. So, yeah. You have a question?
Well, either one of you could answer the question or both, but you mentioned about Shad Derby, but are there any memories of any other events like Memorial Day, concerts on the green,
Oh, yes.
any
Yes.
town event?
Yes. Go ahead.
Memorial Day, I remember we used to have a small dog, and taking him with the whole family, of course, to Memorial Day commemoration, and his being scared of the guns when they went off, and I don't know how much he appreciated either the flyover.
Oh, the kids did. They were
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
in awe, and they timed him so well. So yes, that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a town. You know, we came to one concert on the Green. I remember the library had something behind the
Oh yeah.
old train station. They had a reading program, and they actually went and read the children outside next to that. I have a picture of that still on the wall. Another event went on the. I could have worn that shirt today. Did the Black History Walk that they
Oh.
that they
Freedom
Freedom Trail.
Freedom
Yeah.
Trail. And
And then
another thing.
had that last
Maybe we were away, but I went to one a few years ago and got a T-shirt from there. What other event?
I remember lots of shed derbies.
Yes, it was a tradition.
The
we were
shed,
going
yes,
to the shed
shed
derby.
derby.
We did not plan anything
Yeah.
that day to go anywhere but the shed derby.
Derby. Yeah, 'cause both girls were in Girl Scouting in town, and of course the Girl Scouts would march in shed derby.
Yes, so we'd go through the parade
Yeah.
together, and then we go watch the rest of it
Yeah.
on the sides. So we had fun.
I think Connie Thomas was also involved in the Girl Scouts.
I'm sorry.
Connie Thomas is also involved in the Girl Scouts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay. It's a different. All right.
Yeah, I mean, if you have anything else that you wanted to talk about specifically, because
Okay.
I can't think
I think
of
we
anything. I
kinda
think we kind of covered.
We shared what we wanted to. All
Thank
right.
you.
so much. I really appreciate you coming out here
Oh, well,
and sharing your story.
this was the day for Windsor.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Thank you so much. Hope you come to our October 9th big event on Palisado Green.
okay.
Not to be confused with the Chili Challenge, which is also
Yes,
So
they
yeah,
told us about
yeah,
that, so-
which is on the green.
the other green.
Yes.
Town
we're
Hall
doing, we're
Green.
doing the Palisado
Yeah.
Green.
Palisado Green.
Yeah. All right. Was it? I think the first time I saw something was it in the newspaper?
Oh, good, good.
I think. I actually went just to take a look at what you were doing, or the group of people who were running the one that was over by the high school,
Yeah, yeah.
and saw the car, and then I said, okay, I can go to the one at Deerfield and be prepared now. So I wasn't sure I could make this one, but at least I wanted to see what was going on. So, thank you for taking it around the town.
Yeah.
I think this is great.
Well,
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was our big goal, was to get outside of our own walls, to
Yeah.
go where people are.
Mhm.